Everyone, welcome to another Book Review Wednesday, and today I'm going to be looking into a children's story, in particular one by a famous author, and this book is called The BFG by Roald Dahl. Now, the interesting thing about this book is the fact that it sort of treats itself in a different way than I think a lot of other Roald Dahl's works have done in the past. I actually have not fully read the book of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I always keep getting mixed up if it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the title of the book, or if it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I believe it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the title of the book, but Roald Dahl has been known for being rather bizarre and I think almost at times fairly moralistic in his stances on certain issues. And you will see this clearly displayed within the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book. However, I believe the BFG is a little bit more loose and is just trying to be kind of more of a playful look into a child's kind of perspective, or at least trying to apply that childlike creativity to it, while also being very strange, but at the same time, I think, relatively innocent and not as hard-pressed, I think, on the morals as some of his other works are. But basically, the BFG follows an orphan named Sophie, who suddenly comes across a giant named the BFG, who shows up and basically ends up taking her to his cave in Giant Country where he lives. And basically, it sort of tries to set itself up by kind of just developing the relationship between Sophie and the BFG. And then eventually the plot sort of starts when you see how all of the other giants, in particular that I guess are really considered part of the BFG's species, so to speak, except the only way in which he's different is the fact that he doesn't eat people. So pretty much all the other giants are kind of supposed to be very hostile to humans, and he and Sophie develop a plan to ultimately stop these giants from attempting to eat people. And they actually do this in a very clever, bizarre, and almost childlike creative way that you wouldn't expect from, I think, something like a Dahl book to do, at least. And really, that's basically at the heart of it without really giving too much away. Again, I think the important thing to get from this story is the fact that it is kind of trying to be uniquely different from his other works, which I think focus more on morals or putting in some interesting themes. But here it just seems like it's just a child, a creative work that's not really a childlike creative work that's not really designed to be too in-depth thematically, but more so based within, just having this kind of adventure. You have Sophie and the BFG sort of developing this bond, and you see ultimately how they use it in order to create some betterment. And that's really at the heart of it. It's not really trying to be anything more than that. Is it a little strange with its approach that usually children's stories, that other children's stories don't really offer? Yes, it is a little odd and maybe is not for every child. But I think what it brings up is rather interesting, and I think something that children can definitely enjoy. if your child or if you don't mind children's stories that are kind of a little bit on the stranger side and not necessarily as, I guess you could say, straightforward thematically or or when it comes to even plot as well, because this story tends to be a little bit meandering, but I think it does that because it is kind of trying to take it into a perspective of a child, in particular since Sophie is our main character who is a child. So yeah, I think that's really ultimately all I can say about the story without really giving too much away. But again, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care.